Why, hello. Yo. I'm kinda hungry. I need to get more sleep. I'm kinda hungry.
I don't see any reason to make trouble.
Who's the foxy lady?
I don't think she's your type.
Staking out your turf, huh? Understood, compadre. Where to?
Back to downtown.
Well, fuel's burning.
Let's rip.
That's what I like to hear. Oh, but by the way, I'd like to clarify something about our contract.
What?
When I said 24 hours, I meant 24 hours minus my sleep time. I'm about ready to hit the sack.
First drop me near downtown.
Pleasure's mine. I never leave a bird in the woods. But that's a wrap.
I don't think she's your type.
Staking out your turf, huh? Understood, compadre. Where to?
Back to downtown.
Well, fuel's burning.
Let's rip.
That's what I like to hear. Oh, but by the way, I'd like to clarify something about our contract.
What?
When I said 24 hours, I meant 24 hours minus my sleep time. I'm about ready to hit the sack.
First drop me near downtown.
Pleasure's mine. I never leave a bird in the woods. But that's a wrap. Even Sid Black needs rest.
Come to the tavern. I have more to tell you about JC's condition and why you are so important.
The Templars are one step ahead of us, but not for long. Prepare the gate with the sequencing module. Find your long-lost older brother on the other side, and wait for my orders.
Cheerio. I'm booked until after the summit, but maybe we'll fly again. I'll be around.
Panzerworks finally reached their breaking point. It was bound to happen. They could only take so much needling from the Order.
The Nine Worlds is a no-weapon zone.
So you want me to disarm and...
No, you've just got to consent to the standard deactivation procedure before entry. I'll transmit the encrypted safety lock bytecode, which will effectively freeze all...
Here you go.
Thanks for your cooperation. Come on in.
The whole reason I joined the Order was to get away from factory model thinking.
When you go to Antarctica and find JC, remember what hangs in the balance. I haven't told you just how powerful JC has become.
One of the other trainees, Billy Adams, has already gone through the gate.
She has signed her soul over to the Luddites, the haters of technology. Protect JC, or she could plunge the world into another dark age. Trust me, I was like her 20 years ago, and I still share some of the blame for triggering the collapse.
I thought you said JC was powerful.
He is, but the merger with the Helios AI has been problematic. He has fallen into a state of near catatonia and will be vulnerable until you can revive him.
How do I do that?
By transferring your biomod architecture to JC, you will complete his interface to the AI and bring him out of the coma. This is a job we intended for Paul, but now it falls on your shoulders.
Paul Denton?
He too is helpless and in need of our new systems. We thought we had the infusions perfected 3 years ago, but his body rejected them violently. He had to be cryogenically frozen until we could finish the design.
The leader of the Cairo facility, captured by the Templars.
Exactly. JC will tell you more. Please, don't delay. Every passing minute brings your friend Billy one step closer to murdering the only sincere leader humanity has ever had. I never imagined that all 4 of our facilities would be compromised at once. Extraordinary times, my young friend. We are about to see the rebirth of global civilization. What form it takes will shape human history for centuries. JC's vision 2 decades ago was far ahead of our means to implement it, but that is about to change. The rest of your questions will be answered in due time. You better go. You better go. You better go.
You must be in town for the summit. We're having a private conversation.
Strangers welcome. Just don't make any speeches.
Trier's just been a circus lately.
wonder
happening?
why we complain.
I've heard strange stories about Her Holiness.
Like what?
Just rumors. But is it true? Did she make a secret alliance with the WTO?
Her Holiness and Mr. Dumier are leaders of a secret society called the Illuminati.
I don't understand.
The woman you call Her Holiness is the daughter of the Illuminatus Beth Duclair. She founded the church after the collapse as a foothold to regaining power.
But how could she support the WTO?
She and Mr. Dumier knew that it would be too hard to pull together a global government from the chaos of the collapse. They chose to reinvent specific aspects of power and then bring them together later into one body.
The scriptures, though, were they...
A well-designed psychological tool.
I grew up in post-collapse Hong Kong. My parents were Max Chen and Maggie Chow, co-conspirators involved with MJ-12. I swore I would never ruin myself with lies the way they did.
You aren't the one to blame.
I've deceived millions, hundreds of millions of people. I'm such a fool. I was one of the church's first disciples. They lied to me. My whole life, just something they outlined on a piece of paper. I feel like such a fool in this costume. I was one of the church's first disciples.
Hey, I'm not blind, you know.
Stop that.
Eh?
Oh, jeez!
It's mine. They don't just hand out these uniforms, you know.
Nothing. If we want to save face, we better stop the next attack before it happens.
Better find out what's up.
Tracking infrared disturbance. Reporting intrusion.
I think you will be destroyed!
activate the gate, you will need to turn on a backup generator on the top floor and then upload the sequencing module from the gate control room.
I don't know where he is, but he better show up soon. The facility here is being raided by the Templars. So far we're holding our own, but I don't know how much longer that will last. This may be my last transmission.
Anyone there? I'm ready for you. You dare...
main control room where you will install the sequencing module once the power is restored.
I don't know where he is, but he better show up soon. The facility here is being raided by the Templars. So far we're holding our own, but I don't know how much longer that will last. This may be my last transmission.
I think these Templars are itching for a war.
Reassembling tissues. Healing functions complete.
Incidentally, I have recently found reason to doubt Miss Clara Sparks' loyalty. We are depending on you, Alex. Only a Denton or one of the trainees can use the gate.
Initiating repairs.
takes care of the power. Now get downstairs to load the sequencing module.
Repairing damage. Repairs complete.
Wonderful. The device is operational. Now, Alex, simply take a deep breath and step inside. I'm willing to bet that this thing actually works.
Speak with me. I can explain what has come to pass. No more violence. You're all friends of JC. We want peace. No more death. No more violence. More deviation from the plan. All was to arrive with the key, bringing the perfected genetic code. JC was to awaken to greet the new age. Instead, that woman came, followed soon after by the hateful ones. Where is Paul? What is going on?
I'll bet that your intruders are Billy Adams along with some Templar backup. After that, I have no idea what you're talking about.
When JC arrived, so many years ago, and the Versalite base fell silent, he took care of us. In return, we would maintain his habitat while he slept, and await Apostlegore's masterpiece. Paul was to accompany the key, but instead 2 keys have arrived, and Paul remains nowhere.
So we're the keys. The gate must use some sort of DNA fingerprinting, and since both Billy and I have Denton genetic code, we were able to use it. It was never about the training, was it? They were just perfecting the DNA.
And the gate has only brought us destruction. The hateful ones threaten, capture, and murder us. We can neither fulfill our duties to JC, nor can we get to his habitat to awaken him.
Why would the Templars bother with capture? I hate to be so blunt, but it seems that elimination would make more sense.
It is not clear. It seems they are trying to learn more about us, but in gravely vicious ways. Right now, there is one of our number in captivity. If you could help him reach this location, it would mean a great deal to us.
What do you mean by JC's habitat?
When he came to us, he made the Earth move according to whim. He sculpted a habitat for himself, near to our colony on the ice.
And your people?
We maintain the habitat for him while he struggles to assimilate the Helios entity, the artificial intelligence with which he joined. The merger gave him great power, but also threatened him with madness. He sleeps now to heal.
So you're part of VersaLife? I thought that corporation folded during the collapse. Quite a few people believe they actually caused it, in fact.
VersaLife established an outpost here and set us on the ice to test our reactions to extreme conditions. We were the next generation of a project launched in Roswell. We were to be unstoppable ground troops, unfazed by cold or radiation. In other cases, our DNA was to be harvested to create biomodifications for humans, so that they could survive the aftermath of a nuclear war.
So you're fully engineered transgenics, not aliens? That was just a cover story for a Cold War research project. But there aren't very many of you, hardly an army.
To prevent us from overpowering our masters by sheer numbers, we were created unable to reproduce.
Now I understand.
Resolite abandoned their base, but JC ensured that we would be safe. The hateful ones have upset this balance.
I might be able to restore your security. Have the Templars, I mean the hateful ones, caused any other trouble for you since their arrival?
They have set up camp not far from here and prevent us from leaving. We suspect they are trying to gain entrance to JC's habitat.
I don't know much about your kind, but you seem far more articulate than an ordinary Grey.
We were not all engineered the same. Different strains had different purposes. Some are more verbally adept, others made for battle, and others made as leaders. JC's arrival only amplified these differences. His presence has changed us all. So much outside the plan. It must be set right. The hateful ones must be stopped. We cannot allow them to prevail. We cannot allow them to prevail. Hello? So much outside the plan. It must be set right.
Perhaps you fear that you will inadvertently do the bidding of the Illuminati. Have patience. Nothing will be the same once you have revived JC Denton. Welcome to Antarctica, JC's sanctuary for 20 years.
Why do you persist? Tong, Dumier, Her Holiness, they're all fools. Do you really understand what they're asking you to do? Go to Tent 04 and I'll contact you there.
Perhaps you fear that you will inadvertently do the bidding of the Illuminati. Have patience. Nothing will be the same once you have revived JC Denton. Welcome to Antarctica, JC's sanctuary for 20 years.
Why do you persist? Tong, Dumier, Her Holiness, they're all fools. Do you really understand what they're asking you to do? Go to Tent 04 and I'll contact you there.
Investigating specific threat. Severe damage.
Listen, I don't know exactly what they've all told you, but you're just a pawn. And reviving an ancient mad cyborg isn't gonna help anyone.
They found that the Templars are a sane and reasonable employer?
Lesser of the evils offered at this point. The other entities all want you to revive the man responsible for the collapse. What good can that possibly accomplish? Apostle Corps wants to worship him, and the Illuminati wants to try to control him.
And what would you propose?
The only safe way to deal with such dangerous power and such an unstable individual is to destroy him. It's the only way.
That's an interesting viewpoint, especially considering JC's work made us both what we are today.
That hardly matters in the grand scheme of things. You can try, but you're not going to be able to stop me from repurposing the Helios core for more beneficial purposes.
What do you think Saman's plans are for her in the long run? He's just using her for her abilities. Once she outlives her usefulness, I doubt he'll care what we do with her. I can't believe he would recruit some modified freak, especially for a mission as critical as this one. To find a monster, you've got to be a monster, apparently. We were too pure to track him down, but she sniffed him out immediately. But can we trust her? We don't need to trust her. Just keep her on a short enough leash. As far as I'm concerned, she's just a trained beast.
Beware. Automated security in place. Damage sustained. System damage manageable. Continuing. Turn back. Unauthorized personnel. Repairing damage. Finished.
Yes. This way. Go.
A small price for the sake of purity. I've still got some fight in me. The tide will turn. How odd. I'll not stand for this. Now what? Grenade! Hello? Hello? Where are you? Mine!
To revive JC, you'll have to repair Helios's 5 processing modules with an infusion of your biomod architecture. Prepare yourself for the unexpected, Alex. JC is conscious, but trapped in a struggle with the Helios AI. His memory is so intermingled with the AI that echoes of his former life are embedded in the very construction of this sanctuary.
Alex Denton, welcome to your brother's sanctuary. My assignment is to answer your questions and provide transportation.
It's getting to be quite a crowd down here for an impregnable fortress. You were looking for JC Denton too?
I left Hong Kong in 2052 with instructions to search for JC Denton near Groom Lake in Nevada. I am an AI construct developed by Tracer Tong. My instructions were not to stop looking until I was certain that Mr. Denton was safe.
He isn't exactly safe with my former classmate Billy Adams skulking around. She went over to the Templars.
Billy Adams must be destroyed. If she damages the Helios core, she will destroy JC's mind.
She was always a prankster.
When you have eliminated the threat and spoken to JC, go outside to the abandoned VersaLife base. You will need to turn on the pilot beacon so that I can land safely and take you to your next destination.
Funhouse. I guess it's some sort of architectural photo album. This room is from Hong Kong, where JC Denton went in.
The other key is already here. It is time to awaken JC.
But how? What?
Look at this funhouse. I guess it's some sort of architectural photo album. This room is from Hong Kong.
What is this place?
Look at this funhouse. I guess it's some sort of architectural photo album. This room is from Hong Kong, where JC Denton went into hiding for a while. Talk about ego. Is this what you want to bring about? The whole world recreated in his image? Look at this funhouse. I guess it's some sort of architectural photo album. This room is from Hong Kong, where JC Denton went into hiding for a while. Talk about ego. Is this what you want to bring about? The whole world recreated in his image?
The other key is already here. It is time to awaken JC, but we fear she is here to prevent it and to harm him. You must stop her, and you must revive him.
But how?
Upon the arrival of the key, JC was to be awakened to welcome the perfected genetic code. Then he and Paul were to share it with the world. Now there is much unexpected violence, but we will proceed according to the original plan.
What needs to be done?
Activate the nodes. Reconnect him with the waking. But beware. The other G has made her own plans.
What do you mean?
She has machines, weapons. She has hate. She intends to destroy JC and all who stand in her way. Do not let this come to pass.
What is this place anyway?
This is JC's habitat. He came to Antarctica seeking peace, in turmoil from the merger with the artificial intelligence Helios. He constructed this place with his mind, using his new power over materials. The habitat erupted from the landscape, a living technological building infused with his psyche. JC must be awakened. The hateful ones threaten all that we have worked and waited for. We cannot allow JC to continue to sleep. JC must be awakened. She brings destruction with her. I hope you can end it.
Excellent work, Alex. Repair this Tower of Babel, and just when the king reaches out to touch the sky, we will be there to snatch his hand away.
JC sleeps unsafe. JC sleeps unsafe. She moves to destroy JC. We do not understand this violence against her own kind. She bears many tools and much anger. She moves freely toward her goal. She moves to destroy JC. We do not understand this violence against her own kind.
Thanks for doing all the hard work finding the way in here. All I had to do was follow in your footsteps, and now I'm just minutes away from completing my objective.
Just walk away, Billy. I'm here to awaken JC.
Don't let Apostle Corps or the Illuminati use you as a pawn. One wants to worship JC, and the other wants to try to control him. Neither group can see he's too mad and too powerful for either. I'm going to destroy him while he's still weak. It's the only sane answer.
I can't let you do that. I'll kill you if I have to.
So this is how it ends? Okay, I'm ready, but I don't think you are. You may have dealt with SSC or even armored Templars before, but you've never taken on a true equal, or a friend. But I guess you're just as crazy as the rest of them. Another threat to be neutralized. It's over, Alex.
This shouldn't take too long.
It will take more than that.
last, my scientists succeeded. You were the complete solution. My brother Paul was to be upgraded first so that he could carry the infusions through the gate, but there was a setback.
You're really J.C. Denton. What happened to your brother?
He nearly died 2 years ago. My chief scientist, Tracer Tong, thought that he'd perfected the biomod substrate, but there were recombinant anomalies in Paul. He had to be cryogenically frozen to save his life. Luckily, you and the other subjects at last accepted complete transformation.
Which is why we can pass through the gate and enter this place.
That, and much more. We're now ready to transform the human race. It became clear to me after the defeat of MJ-12 that the old answers to tyranny are inadequate. I needed the Helios merger in order to contemplate the problem effectively.
And?
I'm going to establish the first post-human civilization, and you're my first citizen. Welcome.
A new civilization? That's a pretty tall order. What do you need from me?
I need you to return to Cairo to rescue my brother Paul, who was seized by the Templars. Then meet me at Liberty Island, where in the ruins of an old military base there is an Aquinas node that can be used to distribute the infusion technology worldwide.
Tell me more about this post-human civilization.
Before the disruptions, Helios and I had many months of productive thought. Up to now, all free societies have started with one premise. Human nature is cruel, unjust, a force to be controlled.
I follow you so far.
The separation of powers, from Aristotle to Montesquieu, is designed purely to thwart the ambitions of individuals. How comical the West pride in its vast tangle of agencies, jurisdictions, arcane procedures.
What's the alternative?
Address the flaws in human nature. Make all beings truly equal in both body and mind. If you start with minds that are lucid, knowledgeable, and emotionally sound, the needs of government change dramatically.
How do you control human emotions? Antidepressants? Is that freedom?
Is it freedom when one child is born to poverty, a chance combination of organic materials, while the wealthy child is shaped every day of his life, enhanced genetically, trained, educated, often augmented nanotechnologically?
Why not get rid of nanotech and genetic engineering, the technologies that make people different from each other?
Then you go down the path of intolerance as your friend Billy did. Is human nature perfect? No. Therefore, improvements are to be welcomed, not annihilated in Templar pogroms. As enhanced beings, we can establish a pure democracy that runs on instantaneous input from the electorate.
What would this pure democracy look like?
The Helios AI has the processing power to handle all governmental functions worldwide, legislative, executive, and judicial. Once every mind has been enhanced and can merge with the AI, attitudes towards major legislation can be processed on a daily or even more frequent basis.
You want everyone to be like the Omar and meld themselves together into one huge AI construct?
Helios will communicate, not assimilate. Life will go on as usual.
Helios is starting to sound like an enlightened despot.
All governments have power. The benefit of giving this power to a synthetic intellect is that human affairs would no longer need to be ruled by generalities. Helios will have a deep understanding of every person's life and opinions.
What if I don't want someone peeking into my mind?
Upon consideration, you'll see that this arrangement is for the best. General ideas are no proof of the strength, but rather of the insufficiency of the human intellect. The words of Alexis de Tocqueville, an observer of the birth of modern democracy. Though general ideas allow human minds to make judgments quickly, they are necessarily incomplete.
So
de Tocqueville noted that an all-knowing mind, the mind of God as he conceived it, would have no need for general ideas. It would understand every individual in detail and at a glance. Incomplete applications of law or justice would be impossible for such a mind.
So you see yourself as a god?
I want human affairs to be driven by wisdom. Finding the correct recipe for wisdom has been my project these long years under the ice.
You seem to think you've succeeded.
Wisdom must first be human. You must start with what a human sees and feels. But wisdom must also be knowledgeable, logical, and fair to billions of other beings.
How much of you is a machine?
Helios and I are one consciousness. No distinction is possible.
You expect 10 billion people to submit to the rule of a software construct? What if some of them resist?
The people will welcome true equality. Help me, Alex. You've come this far toward restoring Apostle Corps. Finish the job by rescuing my brother from the Templars in Cairo.
I'll leave for Cairo as soon as I can.
A helicopter followed you here. Tracer Tong sent it to pick me up from Area 51 after my infiltration of MJ-12. Ava Johnson was the pilot, an AI construct. I'm putting her at your disposal. Go back to the surface and activate the pilot beacon at the abandoned VersaLife base so that she will know where to land.
Alex Denton. How does it feel to share such an infamous name? Don't be deluded by the AI's ingenuity. Your brother JC has long since been devoured by the Helios core, and if you revive Paul, you will be reviving a sworn terrorist. There is a better way. More when you reach Cairo.
You